Nick's dangerous plan in Las Vegas backfires when he's kidnapped by Matt, who exploits his growing addiction and turns the tables. Adam's deception is exposed as Reza lashes out, leaving his situation unraveling fast. Back in Genoa City, Holden receives life-changing test results that shake the family, while Diane faces a harsh reality check about her past. Meanwhile, Phyllis is forced to confront a painful truth about her future and her relationship with Daniel, as tensions rise across every storyline. Welcome to A Mysterious Time TV, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of Young and the Restless, uncovering untold stories and hidden truths behind the headlines. YNR Recap: April 13th, Nick disappears, Adam's lies explode, and Phyllis faces a painful truth. Tensions run high across Genoa City as relationships fracture and long-standing conflicts reach a boiling point. Phyllis begins to understand the devastating emotional cost of her recent triumph, while Nicky confronts Victor over his relentless attacks on Jack. At the same time, Adam's carefully constructed scheme in Las Vegas begins to unravel just as Nick finds himself trapped in a terrifying situation. This episode unfolds on Monday, April 13th, 2026, in the US, airing a day earlier in Canada. Trouble brews at Crimson Lights. At Crimson Lights, Daniel checks his phone and excitedly tells Tessa about a luxurious hotel he's considering, one that boasts 3 Michelin-starred restaurants. He suggests they should experience it together. However, Tessa hesitates. She admits she's reconsidering the trip to Barcelona because she feels she should stay in town for Mariah. Daniel isn't shocked by her hesitation. Given the recent changes in their relationship, he expected she might have second thoughts. He reassures her that he doesn't want to pressure her into anything and insists he doesn't regret what they shared. Tessa responds with a warm hug before leaving, asking him to pass along greetings to his father. The tone shifts dramatically when Phyllis approaches Daniel. She immediately questions his involvement with Tessa, expressing concern that Mariah, currently in therapy, may reunite with her soon. Daniel quickly shuts her down, telling her it's none of her business, especially after she prioritized corporate theft over her own children. Phyllis is stunned that neither Daniel nor Summer has moved past her actions. She tries to make amends by offering Daniel control over an entire business division, similar to his time running Omegasphere. But Daniel sees through her gesture, accusing her of trying to buy his forgiveness. As tensions escalate, Lauren enters and overhears Daniel telling his mother to return the company to its rightful owners. Until she does, he says, there's nothing left to discuss. He storms out, leaving Phyllis shaken. Over coffee, Phyllis vents to Lauren about her strained relationships with her children. Summer won't even answer her calls, and Daniel has shut her out completely. She laments that while her children could forgive her for faking her death, they cannot accept her latest move against Victor. It finally dawns on Phyllis that her victory may have come at too high a price. If she doesn't return Newman Enterprises, she risks losing her children forever. Lauren gently questions whether the success she's achieved is worth the damage it's caused, and whether it may already be too late to repair things. Diane confides in Michael. At Society, Michael joins Diane and notices she seems irritable. He brings up a rumor: did she really leave Jack? Diane confirms it, explaining that Victor manipulated the situation. She believed Jack was in danger and possibly kidnapped, prompting her to act. But what she discovered instead was Jack in bed with Patty Williams. Michael is stunned. Diane explains that Jack had been drugged with a substance designed to heighten libido, and she's convinced Victor orchestrated the entire situation. She reveals that Nikki told Jack that Victor had essentially admitted involvement. Frustrated, Diane questions why Michael continues to stand by Victor. Michael, however, tries to comfort her. He acknowledges how painful betrayal can be but suggests that love can sometimes survive even the deepest wounds. Though Diane admits Jack wasn't entirely at fault, her anger still outweighs any willingness to forgive. She feels heartbroken and believes Jack will need to find someone else to heal him. Michael promises to try reaching Victor but warns that convincing him to change course won't be easy. Nikki takes a stand against Victor. In the GCAC dining room, Kyle confronts Victor, warning him that he's gone too far in targeting the Abbott family. Victor dismisses the accusation, deflecting blame onto Jack and criticizing his character. Kyle calls Victor a coward before walking away, passing Nikki as she approaches. Dressed in a striking violet coat, Nikki confronts Victor directly. She tells him he must admit he's crossed a line. Victor refuses, insisting he has nothing to confess and reminding her that he reclaimed Chancellor for her. Nikki accuses him of orchestrating Patty's release, suggesting he hoped she would either harm Jack or destroy his marriage. Victor denies being present during the incident but doesn't deny involvement in bringing Patty back into the picture. The argument escalates as Nikki defends Jack, insisting he had nothing to do with the attacks Victor is retaliating against. Victor fires back, accusing Nikki of being blinded by her loyalty to Jack. Furious, he storms off, leaving their relationship even more strained. Adam's panic in Las Vegas. In a Las Vegas hotel, Adam grows increasingly anxious when Nick fails to answer his calls. He knocks on Riza's hotel room door, but there's no response until Riza herself arrives moments later. Confused, she asks why he hasn't gone inside to meet her partner, Ronnie. Adam hesitates, explaining that no one answered. Together, they enter the room and call out, but it's empty. Adam tries calling Nick again, but it goes straight to voicemail. Alarmed, he demands that Riza contact Ronnie immediately and explain where Nick is. Riza, caught off guard, has no idea what he's talking about. Nick's nightmare. Elsewhere, Nick wakes up in a dark storage room with a bag over his head. He calls out in confusion before a man named Matt removes the sack, revealing himself. Matt taunts Nick, explaining that he walked right into a trap. Nick had been buying drugs from dealers working for Matt, unknowingly putting himself in danger. Matt mocks him for his addiction and poor judgment. When Nick asks if he plans to kill him, Matt smirks. Instead, he intends to keep Nick alive and addicted. He plans to supply him with drugs until he's completely consumed, losing all sense of identity. Matt goes even further, threatening Nick's loved ones, including Noah and Sienna, while making it clear Nick will be powerless to stop him. Fallout at the Abbott mansion. Back in Genoa City, Kyle returns home visibly upset. Tracy notices immediately and asks what happened. Kyle admits he confronted Victor and isn't confident his mother can move past everything that's happened. Tracy worries that if Diane holds on to her anger for too long, it could turn into something far worse. She's also deeply concerned about Patty Williams being back in the picture, fearing more chaos lies ahead. Kyle agrees, the situation is far from over. Adam's deception exposed. Back in the Vegas hotel room, tensions explode between Adam and Riza. As Adam searches frantically for clues about Nick's disappearance, he asks if the names Matt Clark or Mitch Bacall sound familiar. Riza explains that Mitch changed his identity to Ronnie after moving to Las Vegas. Adam then reveals the truth: Mitch, Ronnie, and Matt Clark are all the same person. He explains that Matt has a long, dangerous history with his family, having terrorized both Nick and Sharon for years. Riza is stunned. Realizing Adam may have used her to get closer to Matt, she lashes out, accusing him of deception, and slaps him. Adam, desperate and panicked, grabs her arm and demands answers about Nick's whereabouts. But Risa insists she knows nothing, leaving Adam with no leads and mounting fear for his brother's life. As the episode closes, the stakes have never been higher. Phyllis faces the painful consequences of her ambition, Nikki and Victor's marriage teeters under the weight of betrayal, and in Las Vegas, Nick's life hangs in the balance while Adam's lies collapse around him. Next update. Nick's risky move spirals out of control, and Holden gets life-changing news. Friday, April 10, 2026, emotions run high as danger escalates in Las Vegas, while shocking revelations and disappointing medical results ripple through Genoa City. At Crimson Lights, Sharon strikes up a conversation with Stephanie, who reveals she's Holden's mother. Their chat quickly turns heartfelt as they connect over the emotional strain of being separated from their children. Moments later, Holden arrives, and after a brief greeting, he and Stephanie step outside to the patio. Not long after, Chelsea rushes in, visibly unsettled and unable to shake a deep sense of dread about what's unfolding in Las Vegas. Out on the patio, Holden confirms that he has completed the necessary medical testing. Stephanie anxiously awaits the results, hopeful they can begin treatment soon. She also takes the opportunity to apologize for keeping the truth about Malcolm from him all these years. Holden, still processing everything, asks where Malcolm is and learns he's gone to speak with Lily. With a heavy sigh, Holden realizes just how shocking that conversation will be. Inside, Chelsea confides in Sharon about a disturbing dream she had, one where Adam seemed to transform into a colder, more dangerous version of himself. The vision leaves her terrified. Sharon admits she once experienced something similar involving Adam during a troubling time in Las Vegas years ago. Though Sharon tries to reassure her by pointing out that Nick is with Adam, Chelsea remains convinced that Adam is in serious trouble. Meanwhile, at the club, Lily is stunned when Malcolm reveals that Holden is her brother. He explains that Stephanie left town while pregnant and never told him the truth. Lily struggles to comprehend why such a secret was kept for so long. Malcolm, seeking reassurance, asks Lily what she thinks of Holden. Though she doesn't know him well, Lily acknowledges that Holden has a good reputation. Their conversation shifts to Malcolm's illness and the emotional weight Stephanie must have carried before finally coming clean. Malcolm expresses hope that Holden might be a donor match. Lily promises they will find a solution no matter what, even if it means turning to her children, Maddie and Charlie, for help. She reassures Malcolm that he will overcome this challenge, just as he once supported her during her own battle with cancer. Shortly afterward, Malcolm learns that doctors in New York have already scheduled his first round of treatment as a precaution. A call from Stephanie follows, letting him know Holden wants to meet with both him and Lily. Across the country in Las Vegas, Adam meets with Risa, who delivers his share of the poker winnings. In a strategic move, Adam hands the money back, signaling trust and strengthening their partnership. He presses her about meeting her mysterious associate, and she agrees to arrange it that very day. Their interaction turns flirtatious, with Risa hinting at celebrating later, and Adam playing along to maintain his cover. Once Risa leaves, Nick emerges from hiding and questions how far Adam is willing to go in maintaining this persona. Adam insists he's only staying in character long enough to reach their real target, Matt. Nick worries that Adam is slipping too deeply into his darker alter ego, but Adam reassures him that everything is under control and confirms the meeting is set. Elsewhere, Risa meets with Matt, who has unexpectedly let himself into her room. He demands to meet the poker player she's been praising. Risa assures him the meeting can happen anytime, prompting Matt to eagerly agree. Back with Adam and Nick, they finalize their plan. Adam will approach first, with Nick following shortly after. However, tension rises when Matt begins questioning Reese's motives and presses her about Adam's sudden return to poker. His suspicion is clear, he wants to know why now. Meanwhile, Adam ignores repeated calls from Chelsea, frustrating Nick, who accuses his brother of losing himself in this dangerous world again. Their disagreement intensifies when Nick suggests changing the plan, but Adam refuses. As Adam attempts to leave, Nick stops him, determined to take control of the situation. Things take a troubling turn when Nick, alone for a moment, makes a reckless decision. He uses cocaine just before their critical confrontation, clouding his judgment at the worst possible time. Back in Genoa City, Holden opens up to Stephanie about how overwhelming the day has been. He admits he needs time to process the revelation about Malcolm being his father. Stephanie stands firmly by him, praising his character and urging him to keep an open mind. Soon, Malcolm and Lily arrive, and the group shares an emotional reunion. Holden acknowledges the shocking truth, and Malcolm expresses gratitude that he agreed to testing. Just then, Holden receives the results. He is not a match. The disappointment is immediate. Lily quickly pivots, suggesting they reach out to Maddie and Charlie as potential donors. Malcolm, trying to stay strong, says he can handle that step himself. The family shares a heartfelt embrace, united despite the setback. Back in Las Vegas, Nick emerges from the bathroom energized but erratic. Ignoring the original strategy, he insists on confronting Matt directly. Adam warns him about the danger, but Nick refuses to listen, convinced that this was always going to come down to a face-off between him and Matt. Reluctantly, Adam agrees to let Nick go ahead, but only if he calls and keeps the line open. Nick agrees, and the brothers head out. In Reese's room, she shares a final moment with Matt before leaving at his request, as he prefers to handle the meeting alone. There's a hint of tension as she exits, leaving Matt deep in thought. Back in Genoa City, Chelsea grows increasingly frantic when she cannot reach either Adam or Nick. Despite Sharon's attempts to calm her, Chelsea becomes certain something has gone terribly wrong, and decides she's going to Las Vegas herself. Outside Riza's door, Nick follows through on his promise and calls Adam before entering. As Adam listens through the phone, Nick cautiously steps inside, calling out to see if anyone is there. Suddenly, the door slams shut behind him. Before he can react, a black bag is thrown over his head, plunging him into darkness, his impulsive decision leading him straight into a trap. Next update. Nick's reckless gamble backfires, kidnapping shocker hits as Diane faces a harsh reality check. Next week on The Young and the Restless, the drama intensifies across multiple storylines, with Nick Newman landing in grave danger, Diane Jenkins Abbott being confronted over her past, and emotional developments unfolding for Lily, Sally, and others. Here's a full breakdown of what's coming up during the week of April 13th. Tracy confronts Diane over her past. Tracy Abbott has been a steady source of compassion lately, especially as she supports Lily Winters through a painful emotional crisis. With Malcolm Winters battling a serious blood disorder, Lily is devastated that she cannot be his bone marrow donor due to her own medical history. She opens up to Tracy about her heartbreak, recalling how she couldn't save Neil and now fears losing Malcolm too. Tracy offers comfort and encouragement, reminding Lily not to give up hope. However, her calm and understanding demeanor won't last all week. When Diane Jenkins Abbott arrives at the Abbott mansion, Tracy's attitude shifts dramatically. Despite previously supporting Diane and Jack Abbott's relationship, Tracy grows frustrated with Diane's ongoing resentment. Diane has been unable to move past recent events and continues to fixate on Jack's past actions, particularly something that has left her feeling betrayed. Tracy, clearly fed up, decides to speak her mind. She brings up one of Diane's most infamous choices, faking her own death and allowing both Jack and Kyle Abbott to believe she was gone forever. In Tracy's eyes, Jack has already forgiven something far more severe, so Diane should be capable of showing him some grace now. Her blunt reminder serves as a wake-up call, forcing Diane to reflect on her own history before continuing to judge Jack so harshly. It's a powerful moment that could shift the dynamic in their marriage. Lily faces more heartbreak as Holden gets bad news. Lily's emotional journey continues as she heads to see Malcolm, where she joins him alongside Stephanie Simmons and Holden Novak. Everyone is hoping for good news regarding Holden's test results, but their hopes are quickly dashed. He is not a match. The disappointment hits hard, especially given the urgency of Malcolm's condition. Lily wastes no time and immediately begins making arrangements for her twins, Maddie and Charlie, to be tested as potential donors. Despite the setback, Lily remains determined to fight for her father. Malcolm, in turn, stays strong for his family, even as the clock ticks on his treatment timeline. Audra worries about Sally. Is a baby twist coming? Elsewhere, Audra Charles pays a visit to Sally Spectra at the home she shares with Billy Abbott. Something seems off, and Audra quickly notices that Sally isn't quite herself. Concerned, she asks if Sally is okay. Sally's behavior raises questions, especially when she asks Audra if she brought something for her. This moment hints at a possible secret, one that could point to a pregnancy test. With upcoming hints suggesting that Sally and Billy will be making future plans, speculation grows that a baby storyline could be on the horizon. If true, it would add a major twist to their relationship and potentially impact several others in their orbit. Nick's dangerous spiral leads to disaster. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, things take a dark and dangerous turn for Nick Newman. Already struggling with substance abuse, Nick's behavior becomes increasingly reckless. He escalates from taking pills to crushing and snorting them, amplifying his impulsiveness and overconfidence. While working with Adam Newman to bring down Matt Clark, Nick becomes convinced that he should be the one to take action. Despite Adam's concerns, Nick insists on confronting Matt directly. At the same time, Matt appears to be several steps ahead. He's already in Risa Thompson's room, waiting and fully aware that something is coming. Risa herself is caught off guard when Matt reveals he has access to her room, suggesting he's been in control longer than anyone realized. Matt sends Risa away, wanting to handle the situation alone. Meanwhile, Nick and Adam move into position. Nick decides to go in first, keeping his phone on so Adam can listen from outside and step in if needed. The trap is set, and Nick walks right into it. As Nick approaches the room, the door is slightly open and the lights are off. He cautiously steps inside, calling out to see if anyone is there. But he's not alone. In an instant, Matt ambushes him, pulling a bag over Nick's head and cutting off his ability to react. The plan to take Matt down collapses immediately, turning Nick from hunter to victim. Nick kidnapped, and completely vulnerable. Spoilers reveal that Nick is quickly overpowered and taken captive. Somehow, Matt manages to move him out of the hotel without Adam intervening, raising questions about how thoroughly Matt anticipated their plan. Nick ends up restrained in what appears to be a secluded storage area. When Matt finally removes the bag, he greets Nick with a chilling sense of control, clearly enjoying the upper hand. Nick, still under the influence, is in no condition to fight back effectively. His earlier confidence has completely backfired, leaving him in serious danger. Chelsea heads to Vegas as the truth unravels. Back in Genoa City, Chelsea grows increasingly alarmed when she can't reach Adam. Her concern builds to the point where she decides to take matters into her own hands and head to Las Vegas. Her arrival could complicate everything, especially if she discovers Adam working closely with Riza. Combined with Nick's disappearance, the situation threatens to spiral even further out of control. What's next? As the week unfolds, several key questions loom. Will Nick be able to escape Matt's grasp, or has his recklessness put him in irreversible danger? How long has Matt been aware of Adam and Nick's plan? Will Chelsea arrive in time to make a difference, or walk into a situation she doesn't fully understand? Can Diane accept Tracy's harsh truth and repair her relationship with Jack? And is Sally truly pregnant, setting the stage for a major new storyline? With high-stakes confrontations, emotional revelations, and life-changing twists, the coming episodes promise intense drama from start to finish. Next update. Matt exploits Nick's weakness as Riza turns on Adam. Trouble escalates across Genoa City. The Monday, April 13th episode of The Young and the Restless delivers intense drama as Nick Newman's situation grows more dangerous. Adam Newman faces backlash, and tensions rise throughout Genoa City. After Nick's phone suddenly goes dead, Adam immediately tries to call him back, but gets no response. Sensing something is wrong, Adam heads to Riza Thompson's suite. When he arrives, the door is locked, forcing him to wait until Riza returns to gain entry. Once inside, Adam quickly notices that Irani, the name Riza has been using for her partner, is nowhere to be found. Growing suspicious, he starts demanding answers and presses Riza for information about Nick. When Adam mentions the name Matt Clark, Riza doesn't recognize it at first. However, when Adam brings up Mitch Bacall, she realizes that was her partner's former identity before he started going by Ronnie. Adam then reveals the truth. Matt has a personal vendetta against Nick and Sharon Newman, and his entire setup has been a calculated trap. Realizing she's been manipulated, Riza lashes out. Furious over Adam's deception, she slaps him and nearly does it again before he stops her. Despite her anger, Adam urges her to help him find Nick before it's too late. Meanwhile, Nick is in serious trouble. In a hidden storage room, Matt removes the bag from Nick's head and mocks him for falling straight into the trap. He reveals that Adam was unknowingly used as bait to lure Nick in. Even worse, the drugs Nick has been using were supplied by dealers working for Matt all along. Nick, shaken, asks if Matt plans to kill him. Instead, Matt claims he wants to help him, but his definition of help is far more sinister. He makes it clear that he intends to keep feeding Nick's addiction, ensuring he becomes too weak and dependent to protect the people he loves, including Noah Newman, Sienna Bacall, and Sharon. As Nick struggles against his restraints, Matt asserts total control. He chillingly promises to drag Nick deeper into addiction until he hits rock bottom and beyond. Matt's ultimate goal is clear: render Nick powerless so he can go after his loved ones without interference. Back in Genoa City, conflict brews on multiple fronts. Kyle Abbott confronts Victor Newman over the yacht incident involving Jack Abbott, but Victor refuses to accept any blame. When Kyle calls him out, Victor warns him to mind his tone, refusing to back down. Nikki Newman also challenges Victor, but he remains defiant, insisting he did nothing wrong. Instead, he lashes out at Nikki, accusing her of betrayal. Elsewhere at Society, Michael Baldwin checks in with Diane Jenkins Abbott after hearing she moved out of the Abbott mansion. Diane confirms she left Jack and recounts the yacht drama, placing the blame squarely on Victor. She also criticizes Michael for not taking a stronger stand against him. Michael sympathizes with Diane and gently encourages her to consider forgiveness, but she's not ready. Still hurt and angry, Diane can't see past the betrayal. Later, Kyle returns home and vents to Tracy Abbott about his confrontation with Victor. He also expresses concern that Diane may not be able to move forward from everything that's happened, leaving the future of her relationship with Jack uncertain. At Crimson Lights, Tessa Porter makes a difficult decision to cancel her trip to Barcelona so she can stay close in case Mariah Copeland needs support. Daniel Romalotti Jr. understands and offers comfort, sharing a warm moment with her, just as Phyllis Summers walks in. Once alone with Daniel, Phyllis questions him about his bond with Tessa, but he shuts her down, making it clear it's none of her concern. Phyllis then attempts to entice him with a role at Summers' conglomerate, but Daniel refuses the offer. He firmly states that until Newman Enterprises is returned to its rightful owners, he has no interest in working with her or discussing anything further. Later, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin comforts Phyllis, who begins to realize the harsh truth: she may never regain Daniel's trust unless she's willing to give up control of Newman Enterprises. As the episode closes, it's clear that difficult decisions lie ahead for Phyllis, while Nick faces a terrifying ordeal that could change everything. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.